Hey there, I'm Ian Douglas. I'm the author of the website techinterview.guide, and I'm here to help people with career advancement and interview preparation. My live stream on Twitch covers topics such as company research, how to build resumes and cover letters, applying for the job, getting through interviews, and what to do during negotiations. I've coached thousands and thousands of people over the years to get jobs at the biggest tech companies in the industry, and I'm here to help you too. The following episode is taken from a longer live stream event and may contain interactions with other people in chat. Check out the end of the episode for more information. Let's get to it. So we had an anonymous question in chat drop in. It says, what's more important, customer service or technical skills? What do you believe customer service, or why do you believe customer service is important to you? This is a good question. It's got a couple of things to unpack here. For me, I think having good, strong user empathy in anything that we develop is really important. So it actually combines a little bit of both customer service and technical skill. You obviously need the technical skill to get the job, but having user empathy and understanding what the user is doing and why we're building it for particular users. We are typically the first users of our software, but we're not the users. We're not the end users of our software. We write it for other people. Now, the stuff I automate here around the house, I'm also the end user. But I actually had one of my kids helping me recently with like going through and like clipping out YouTube short videos and podcast audios and like setting all that stuff up in the database. And so I had to make sure that all the little prompt things that I was writing in my Python scripts were friendly enough for him to understand what to do at each step. And so he was able to go through and he actually gave me some feedback like, hey, could we change this prompt? This one was a little confusing, or this one defaulted to yes. Could it default to no? And so I went in and I changed all my code. And it was great getting that user feedback. And sometimes as developers, we lose sight of who the end user is. And so asking who is this for, I think is probably one of the most important things that we have to do as a developer. Now, the technical skill is going to be important. I say on the stream all the time, ours is one of the few industries where we have to demonstrate our skill as part of the interview process. We have to demonstrate. And so technical challenges and you know, take-home assignments and things like that, those aren't going away. What I wish would go away is the style of leak code questions that have nothing to do with the day-to-day job.
Dragon.
I've been on that soapbox a ton of times. Dragons. I did a huge dragon giveaway back in May. And so I appreciate the stickers. But when it comes to that whole user empathy, like really understanding like why do we build things in a particular way to make it accessible and make it usable, and who do we build this for, and understanding that idea and perspective. And that's why we need very diverse teams. We need people coming from lots of different backgrounds, lots of different technologies, lots of different ways of doing things, so that we build software for everyone that's going to be using that software. Because we're the first users, we shouldn't build it the way we want to use it. We need to build it for the way our users are actually going to use it. There have been like lots of funny memes over the years of like, you know, this is how we designed the swing, but this is how the user is actually using the swing. And, you know, some of you might have seen that meme of like, this is what the project manager wanted, and this is what the customer wanted, and so on, like getting into all those kinds of, you know, different panels of like what the user expected and what the user wanted and what the project manager promised and what the salesperson promised and what, you know, all these things. And so we really have to keep the user in mind. And so that does come from a little bit of customer support, of actually interacting and getting that feedback into the process of how do we build a thing? How do we get that feedback? And then how do we kind of iterate on what we've built to use that feedback to make sure that we're really taking care of the user? But the technical skill is also vital. You're not going to get the job unless you can demonstrate that you can do the job. And kind of going back to a comparison that I did earlier in the stream just today, when a doctor goes and interviews for a job, they don't say, hey, go do surgery on that person, and if they survive, you get the job. They just look at your background and look at your references and go, yeah, okay, we'll hire you. In the tech industry, we don't really have the same kind of notion. We don't really have like licensing or like apprenticeship journeyman kind of tickets like other types of skilled labor jobs. We don't really have that in the tech industry. We have some certifications, and you can get bachelor's degrees, you know, specializing in certain things, but they're still going to want you to demonstrate some amount of skill. And so that part's not going away. So you will need the technical skill to get the job, but as part of that interview process, I think being able to show a very strong user empathy is going to be just as important for me. Now, some companies, they're going to put way more emphasis on the technical skill because you're probably, well, I won't say probably, depending on the size of the company and the scope of the project that you're building, you may not write something that's actually part of the user interface. It might be like behind the scenes kind of work or part of automation or part of back-end systems. But if you're a front-end developer, you're absolutely going to be building things that the user is going to be interacting with on a regular basis. And so that kind of software, absolutely, you need to have very strong user empathy and understand accessibility and things like that. So it really depends on the kind of work that you're going to be doing as far as how much of that balance of technical skill versus customer support kind of user accessibility skill you need to have. As a developer, though, I think it's important to have both. How much of both depends on what you want to do in your career and the kind of role that you're going to be taking on. Thanks for checking that out. I hope that you found it helpful. I always appreciate feedback, so please let me know what you think. I appreciate any subscriptions, so please tell your friends and colleagues about it as well. Check out the website techinterview.guide for more information about when I'm live streaming and all of my free content. Drop by a live stream anytime to ask questions or message me privately, whatever makes you most comfortable. See you next time.